Islam's short-term plan, go beat Oliveira, take on Volkanovski. Now, this is massively helpful to Volkanovski. Volkanovski has done everything that he can possibly do. He has done everything right, and he's told whoever will listen, with a completely undefeated record, a #1 ranking in the pound-for-pound list, and a current world championship. He has done everything that he could do to get to 155 pounds, including claiming he's going to go to Fight Island to be the backup, whether they ask him to or not. There is nothing more Volkanovski can do. Getting the opportunity to go for champ status is very rare. Very rare. We've only had a few champs. I understand that. But you need to also understand there was a few more guys that could have become champ. There was a few more boys that were good enough to do it, and girls. But weren't given the opportunity. Just really hard to get. It does become a problem. Every champ that we've ever had, it becomes a problem. I don't want to strip one of them off you. I created this for a reason. I created the image of a belt over each shoulder for a reason. At the same time, you can't go and defend 3 times a year here and 3 times a year here. So I'm going to bust the morale in one of these spots. And generally, the athlete, if he has 2 belts, does not ever elect to go and defend the littler one. They prefer to eat a little bit more, be a little bit more comfortable, and do the heavier one. So a lot of times it works itself out. But I would share, it's just hard to get that opportunity. So when I'm telling you Volkanovski's doing everything right, he is. But so's the UFC. Resist. That's right. I don't know what a harder weight class is. I go with 155, but I don't know, and it is a debate between 155 and 145. I don't know. But that is where iron is on top of iron more than any other weight classes we have. So if you disrupt one of those, it becomes an even bigger issue to a degree. So Volkanovski has done his part to let us know that he's sincere. He also hasn't booked another match. And we were talking about Yuri Rodriguez. We were also talking about Josh Emmett. I haven't heard that dialogue in a period of time. There was a media creation about Volk, he can't fight in his hand. Volk took care of all of those things while still finding ways to get workouts in, and he's back full speed. So we got to put that media creation. You want to talk about fake news, we got to push that aside. Now Volk has Islam, who's the favorite. Sometimes you guys hear me say this. You hear me say 3-1, and sometimes you say me 3.5-1. Don't blame me. Blame DraftKings. That line keeps moving. There's better money at times on certain days of the week for that fight right now. So you got a guy that's a massive favorite who has now said who he would like to fight next, which is Volkanovski. Now, I appreciate that for multiple reasons. First off, I like a competitor. I've suggested fights for you guys, and I've had people write me. I've had people tweet me. I've had people tell me, oh, he'll kick his ass. I'll make a suggestion of a fight. They'll say, oh, this guy shouldn't do it. This guy will kick his ass. Well, that's not the math for everybody. Some guys want to know, and if I got an ass kicking coming my way, then come and give it to me. If I need to be humbled and I need to be taught something, I will take the risk of walking out in front of the world. I want to know those things. I know that's hard to believe. For some people's mindsets, that's hard to believe. But then sometimes you get real competitors. And you know who they are. They're the ones with the mangled ears. They're the ones that used to wrestle in their younger days. Or they would into jiu-jitsu, or they would into judo, or they would into sambo tournaments. 4 and 5 guys a day, every single Saturday. Those are the guys that are the true competitors. I've thought that's who Islam is. I've trusted that's who Islam is. But now I'm really seeing it. That's one side of it. There's another side of this, which is straight up PR. You cannot get called out by a littler guy and tell him no. You have a hard time if you start it. You have a hard time calling out a littler guy. When he does it, when he comes to you, when he comes and tells the world, I want a piece of this guy, you must answer for that. It's just like Kenny Rogers said. Sometimes you have to fight when you're a man. And when a guy who holds a higher ranking than you, but comes in at 5 kilograms less, calls you out and says, I'm even going to come to the island. I don't care if it's him or him. I'm ready for either one of them, and I'll do it on 24 hours notice, because that's what Volk did. Oh, and by the way, I'll do it coming off of a hand surgery. You must answer for that. And Islam has. Now, Islam and Volk don't have to fight. Volk has shown us who he is. Islam has also shown us who he is. And Oliveira needs to be following this and make sure he also calls out Volkanovski. Whoever wins that fight between Charles and Islam must call out Volkanovski. They don't have to fight him. They don't have to work and push for this out of the ring once they leave. They could drop the mic and walk away from it forever, but you must call him out. Perception is reality in all things in life, but it's never clear in this sport. And I don't want to hear who you think would win between Islam and Volk if you tell me Islam's going to go crush him. Or the same thing with Charles. Charles is going to go crush him. Well, you can say those things, but we have a ranking. And nobody ever disagrees with that ranking. We do within this sport honor what the pound-for-pound list says every time. I've never seen a narrative, this guy shouldn't be number one. I've just never seen it. And you've never said it. And Volkanovski's number one. But he's also shown us he's not afraid. I'm not afraid to fight you. I will fight you. I am undefeated. I am world champion. I will walk away from a world championship just to beat you. The other side of you, talking about 10 pounds. They weigh the same thing. 145 and 150, same thing. They weigh the same thing. Interesting spot. I liked it a lot with Islam. I like a true competitor. I like to know that if Islam becomes our champion, he's going to defend and he's going to take on absolutely anybody. I like that. I like that he's looking for the harder competition. I think these are positive things. And if you're in Volkanovski's spot and you've been calling these guys his name, and now you have the projected 3.5 to 1 favorite saying you're next, it sounds like we've got a deal.